everyone. I have some news. Some of it is good news, but most of it is bad news. First, let me talk about this game you're watching. This is my first swarm that I ever achieved in Black Ops 2. It is on Studio with a FAL, with a target finder, a stock, and a laser. A 5.7 with no attachments as a secondary. Black Hat as an equipment, and Hardliner, Toughness, and Engineer for the perks. This commentary will take longer than just this one game, but it's taken me various different lengths. I've done a couple takes of this already, and it's taken me some different lengths. So I'll see where I am whenever this game is done, and then I'll kind of pick whatever the next game is at that point, so I'm not going to talk about it now. A note on all of the games, though. These were recorded in theater. I'll call in a lightning strike, a couple of them, in a few minutes, but you'll see, you don't see me actually called in. I don't have a PVR either, so not only were these recorded in theater, they were recorded using the actual record and then render a video function. They weren't. It's not like when most YouTubers record from theater, they go into the game and then just hit record on their PVR and tell it to play and use that, hiding the controls and whatnot. I had to actually go in and record a bunch of 2-minute segments and piece them together, which, I have a year approximately of video editing experience under my belt through doing my Let's Plays and stuff, but that's just see, here I'm calling it a lightning strike and, you don't see it, but that's just you cut off the beginning, before you start talking, but after you hit the start recording button, and the end before you hit the stop recording button, and, and then sync them up, and, that's that. If you don't need to cut anything out of the middle, it takes, a minute to do. But that wasn't the case with this, and with this game, you saw I came in the middle there. I had just gotten done taking a final I'm taking some summer courses, and I took a history class last semester, and I had a final, and I didn't know it at the time, but I actually ended up acing that final. So I go in and I ace the final, and then I come in, start at Black Ops 2, and get a swarm. So it was a good day, but I came in about a minute into the game. So you can only use 2-minute segments at maximum in theater. So the game goes for most of the time. One problem with Kill Confirmed is TDM and Kill Confirmed both take 10 minutes, and you'll see here I'm gonna teleport right there. I'll talk about that in a second. But Kill Confirmed and TDM both take 10 minutes. That's their time limit. But Kill Confirmed has a score limit of 100. Score as in points for the team, not personal score. And, I really hate that name, using just the term score as a plural, thing. I just got 25 score for killing that dude with the war machine. No, call them points. I think they were just trying to be hey, these aren't the same points as they have in Modern Warfare 3. But, yeah, anyway, and then, the score limit is 100 for Kill Confirmed, and you have to actually kill, or you have to actually confirm the kills. You can't just, kill them and that's it. Whereas it's 75 for TDM, and you don't have to confirm the kills. Who thought that was a good idea? I only play Kill Confirmed for the extra points. TDM you get 100, and then with Kill Confirmed you get 100 for the tags, but you also get 50 for the kill, so it's 150 if you confirm the kill. So that's why I do it. Anyway, that was a little tangent about confirmed. Also, hopefully doing this picking the next game, based on how far I am in the commentary doesn't screw up. Because last time I got to the end of studio and then dragged into the next game, and it corrupted my project file. I had to go in and all of the clips were still there, and most of the clips were still there. Some for the Slums game that was probably going to be the second game were not there. But most of them were there and trimmed to the right lengths, just out of order. And I had to go in and put them in order, which was annoying. And I had to basically remake the Slums game from scratch. But fortunately, I knew where to cut everything. See, what was I going to say? Anyway, regarding that teleport, because depending on when you press X, the announcer guy and some of the other sounds, as well as some of the HUD elements, will be out of sync with the actual gameplay. It's kind of annoying, and so I'd be like, if I don't manage to record a completely silent spot, there with no HUD elements on the screen, including the kill feed that can be screwed up. Then there's sometimes some little jumps between things, and if that happened, it was no big deal. I'd record a 30-minute segment, that with a significant amount of overlap, because you need some overlap, because you need to know where to actually cut things. Let's see, I'd record a 30-minute segment, and no big deal. It join the end of clip number 1 to the 30-minute somewhere in the 30-minute segment, and the end of the 30-minute segment with the beginning of clip number 2. And you'll be fine. There are a couple of times where I had to do that, but I didn't know that I had that problem with the War Machine teleporting, and I also didn't know that the games got deleted after a week, even if you don't record anything over them. So what was I gonna say? If you have a DVR from your TV provider, I mean, you record a TV show and then you record nothing else, that TV show will be there a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, unless you delete it or you record over it and your DVR needs some additional space. I mean, which makes sense, but it doesn't just disappear after, in this case, a week. I didn't know they got deleted after a week, and I didn't know I had the problem until after the week was over, so that's why I teleported. And this game's coming to a close, so let me talk about this Slums game that's next. Hopefully it doesn't corrupt things. There we go. But this is my third swarm ever. You're probably wondering where my second one was. That one was derped in theater as well. It was on Cove, and it was actually arguably more impressive than either of these. But there was a host migration big game, and I only got the first 4 minutes of the game. So I think the guy dashboarded or quit after I got the swarm. But anyway, this game features a hammer with a target finder, and a stock. It's just target finder and stock. This doesn't have 3 attachments. A raw 5.7, a claymore, toughness, hardline, engineer, and dexterity. I decided to go for an extra perk instead of an extra attachment. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same, except for claymore instead of a black hat, so not really the same. Anyway, now that I've ranted about how terrible theater is, let me actually talk about the news. Let's see, the good news is that I've gotten a lot of new subs lately, so hello, if you're a new sub. Even though you probably won't see this, unless I'll link to what I'll do is I'll do another update video, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, welcome new subscribers who aren't actually subscribers to this channel, because you're probably wondering, why is this on my second channel, and why haven't you uploaded anything in a few weeks, and why are you even posting Call of Duty and Xbox footage at all? Well, I'm here to explain that. Let's see. Anyway, the good news is that I have some new subscribers. You people seem to really like my playthrough of Banned from Equestria Daily. Which, I mean, like, I don't look at the statistics of, where people actually click subscribe, but, at one point, before I turned off notifications when I get a new subscriber, I was getting about 20 a day. I don't know, because I turned off the notifications, I don't know how many I'm getting right now, so it may have slowed down a bit. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's hard to talk for 11 minutes, let alone, 30 that this will probably end up being. The last time I tried to do this, I got, out of breath in the middle of the thing. I had to basically stop and take a breath in the middle of the commentary. That was kind of embarrassing. Hopefully I won't have to do that this time. But, anyway, I totally just lost track. Oh, yes, I wasn't keeping track of, where people were actually clicking subscribe. But, I also have notifications by email whenever I get a new comment. Let's see, what was I going to say? Whenever I get a new comment, and Banned from Equestria Daily has gotten a lot lately, and Sissy's Magical Ponycorn Adventure has gotten a few lately too. Anyway, one thing I forgot, even though when I set out, when I first got the game, I was going to say I'm going to get all of the Black Ops 2. When I first got the game, I decided I was going to get all the SMGs and all the assault rifles that are fully automatic and all the shotguns max prestige. Lately, I hit that goal, so now the reason you're seeing the FAL and the hammer is because now I'm doing all the LMGs and the non-full auto assault rifles and the snipers. The snipers are as painful as I expected, but the LMGs and the non-full auto assault rifles actually aren't that bad. They're actually some of my favorite weapons and that I've been doing the best with. So, go figure. Anyway, hopefully I don't remember anything I need to talk about the gameplay anymore. Let's see, what was I going to say? God, I keep derailing my own train of thought. Okay, so I got that, all the gameplay stuff, except games that will be coming in the future, but I don't know what they are yet. Out of the way, as well as the good news. So on to the major point of this, which is the bad news. Originally, I wasn't, the last time I posted something was 3 weeks ago, which was, the last part of To the Moon. And the previous part of, the previous video before that was Puzzle Agent, part 5. And part 6, I uploaded several times, and it kept failing to process to YouTube. And I actually ended up figuring out the problem, which was that when I rendered the video, it turned out to be corrupt, which, you can imagine that would cause failure to process from YouTube. So it was no big deal. I still had the source clips and the source of the commentary as well. So I just uploaded, or I just re-edited it and re-rendered it, and it was fine, ready to go the next day. But in an unrelated circumstance, I was going to record. For after Puzzle Agent was finished, there were still a couple episodes left. For after Puzzle Agent was finished, I was going to record a custom zombies map called The Shack. And I wasn't getting the frame rate that I wanted. So I was like, well, I sprayed down, not sprayed down. That sounds terrible. I aired out my CPU fan. I ran a virus scan, and that didn't help. Neither of those things helped. I checked my GPU drivers. That didn't. That was still running. That wasn't the problem. I I ran a spybot scan, found nothing. I ran a CCleaner scan, didn't find enough to actually be a problem. So what I decided to do was, it was probably that it had been a while since I had last defragged my hard drive. So what I usually do before I defrag my hard drive is delete a bunch of stuff, because it makes no sense to defrag and then delete, because then you're just going to get fragmented right back again. For those of you who don't know, I do all my recording on Windows, Windows 7, but my laptop is dual boot. I also have Ubuntu Linux that I do my editing on, and a bunch of other personal stuff. That's what I'm currently watching this project on right now. But I had been using Ubuntu 12.04 for basically since it came out. That was my first experience with Linux, and it wasn't that there was a new one that came out and I decided to try it. It's just I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna try Linux, and oh, here's Ubuntu. This is the latest version. But I have been growing tired with the last couple releases of Ubuntu, and I decided to move on to something else. One of the ones that I decided to try was Debian, which I was like, okay, Ubuntu, you people who are not Linux users are probably going to be so lost. Okay, basically, let me explain. You know how Windows and Mac and iPhone and all that are all like one release from one company, at a time, But think of Linux more like Android, and actually, Android is based on Linux. But what was I going to say? There's a bunch of different versions. With Linux, these are called distros. Ubuntu is one of them. Debian is another. Mint, Gentoo, Fedora, Red Hat, that kind of stuff. So I decided, and basically, it's like the base operating system is still there. They run the same types of files, but your UI is going to be completely different, and some other things like package management, which some Mac users may know something about that, is going to be different. This game's coming to a close, so I've determined that the next one will be some dogs on Carrier. I'm going to interrupt myself with an M27, a laser, a stock, fast mags, I believe a RAW 5.7, and Black Hat, Hardline, Scavenger, and Engineer, I believe. I'm not even sure if I ever take the 5.7 out. But anyway, this is before I finished all the assault rifles and stuff. This is some dogs. It's not a swarm. Anyway, I was going to leave Ubuntu for Debian, but the problem with that was that when I set up Ubuntu, I didn't make a separate partition for my home folder on my hard drive. For Windows users, I don't really know much about Mac because I've never actually used it to any great degree, except like on a friend's computer or anything. I haven't needed to maintain anything on it. Basically, think of it like the Windows user, your user folder. Like you go to C and then your user, C users, and then whatever your name is. So if your name is Bob, then it's C users Bob. Your home folder is basically like that, and it contains your documents, your pictures, your downloads, your videos, things like that. but it's basically all your personal data. If you switch distros and you don't have that on its own partition, then you lose it. So I needed to move it to a new partition, but the problem was I didn't have enough. I didn't have like my home folder is about 260 gigabytes, or my full Linux install is about 260 gigabytes. A good portion of that is stuff in the home folder. Whoa, did I just like watch the guy I killed fall over after I respawn? Anyway, I'm distracting myself. Let's see. But anyway, and the reason I wanted to go to Debian is because Ubuntu's based on it, and one of the potential desktop environments is GNOME, which has the ability to use a launcher for starting programs. And even though a bunch of people hate Unity, I love its launcher. So, Unity is the default Ubuntu desktop environment. My God, non-Linux users are so like lost right now. And I revel in it. I revel in your confusion. Anyway, I decided that because it was a similar, Ubuntu based on it, they use the same package management system, so I don't have to learn something else. And because they both have similar UIs, that it was a natural choice for my next thing. But okay, so there was a thing with the home folder not being on a separate partition. A major problem with that was because I didn't, it's a fairly large folder, and I needed enough free space on my hard drive to copy the files over, and then make a new partition. So actually, this is probably not what I should have done. But anyway, after I clear my hard drive to do that defrag, I realized suddenly I have enough space. So what I should have probably done is probably should have just moved the files over to my Windows partition, and then resized my Linux partition to make some more unallocated space on my hard drive, and then make a new partition there. But I didn't think of that until literally just now. Let's see, it's been weeks. But what I decided to do was, let's see, what was I going to say? Was resize my Windows partition, downsize it, to make a bunch of free space, and then make a new partition in there, and move my home folder to that new partition, and then downsize the partition with my Linux and stuff on it. But that's not what I did. And because both my Windows drive was mounted, and for some reason it wouldn't unmount, I couldn't do anything to it to resize it. So what I decided to do was I got a Debian Live USB. Basically, if you people don't know what a Live USB is, basically it's a USB that's bootable, and you can boot into a full operating system, and without actually installing anything or changing your hard drive or anything. What was I going to say? Let's see. I got the Debian Live USB and expected, because I got the GNOME version, that it would use gparted for its partition editor. Gparted is what Ubuntu uses and what I'm used to. Holy hell, was I wrong. This was something that was weird, and I didn't understand its UI, and it was just, whoa, I don't know how to use this. So I did the responsible thing and backed out of the installation before I changed any partitions. That didn't cause any problems. What did cause problems was I got back into a fully installed operating system and looked up how to use this system. Let's see, what was I going to say? I looked up how to use the system. Here are the commands to run and that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this. And during the resizing process, the installer crashed, and so I was like, okay. And then when I went to restart the laptop, and I didn't try to restart into the live USB. I tried to restart into Ubuntu, which and it didn't work because Grub, which is the bootloader for Windows, never for no, not for Windows, for Linux, but I run Windows from it as well. That didn't show up. And the game is over. So let's go to a standoff. Sharpshooter game. This one was fun to edit. The middle one had the audio like 3 seconds before the video. That was fun. And there's a little jump in this. It's not as huge as the War Machine Studio one. Anyway, let's see. Now, where was I? I've derailed myself again. Oh, yes, Grub is not working anymore. That happened to me before when I incorrectly installed Ubuntu the first time, and I was a noob at this point. So what I decided to do was, instead of just uninstalling it, I just deleted all the files related to it. Which caused Grub to go away, and that was no problem. What was I going to say? That was no problem. I just reinstalled Ubuntu. But what was I going to say? Let's see, It also my live USB during the install had trouble detecting some of my partitions. In hindsight, that was probably a warning sign. So when I restarted it, it just said that I had one giant 1 terabyte partition, and a terabyte is the size of my hard drive. So and it hadn't shown that before. Here's a little jump. It hadn't shown that before. It had shown a bunch of different partitions, but they were sized incorrectly, which was annoying. But now what I'm thinking is, okay, I need to reinstall Ubuntu, and it failed twice. The reinstallation, and actually the problem was because I couldn't get into a full operating system. What I did was I only had one USB on me. So what I foolishly decided to do was take the USB that I had Debian on, and while it was running, because there is a little bit of a justification for this, is that all the files are stored in the RAM. But while it was running, overwrite the files with the Ubuntu one, so I can reinstall that. It's something that I know how to use, and that actually the reason the installation failed was because it actually improperly deleted one of the files from when it was a Debian USB. But I didn't know this at the time. So and the Ubuntu Live USB also had difficulty detecting my partitions. So because of that, and because it failed twice, I started to think that what I had on my hands was that I had basically accidentally formatted my entire hard drive. Which, even though I gleaned it from the wrong evidence, is actually the case. I can recover, but what I'm using to recover is my brother's. Well, actually, it's technically mine, but my brother's been using it for a year because I got this laptop, which is much better. And so I had no need of it, and he had use for it. So it's my old laptop, which my brother's been using. This laptop is a piece of crap. My normal laptop is has a terabyte hard drive, 5,400 RPM, and I'm not sure how fast the bad laptop is, but my normal laptop is a terabyte, 5,400 RPM, 8 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GPU. Let's see. 4 2.3 gigahertz processors, 8 logical, 4 physical, that kind of stuff. The other laptop, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure how fast the hard drive is, but it's 250 gigs, and only has 2 cores, and they're slower than 2.3. I'm not entirely sure how fast they are. 3 gigs of RAM. The operating system is Vista, and it's basically a piece of crap. This game is about to end, so let me add some gun game on Rush to the list. Let's see. Anyway, what was I going to say? This laptop's a piece of crap, but I can recover with it, but it's taking forever, and it's taking 100% of the CPU. And it's not suited for playing games and recording videos or even editing and rendering videos. It's just, and my brother's using 100 of the gigabytes, so I only have 150 to recover with. And who knew that I had 1 million text files on this laptop that I have to go through and make sure, individually, and make sure that they're, not stuff I need, because I know there are text files I need, but it's like 3 of them, and I have to go through 1 million. Anyway, what was I going to say? But it'll take forever, and let's see, God, I keep losing my train of thought. It takes about 3 days just to recover 150. I have a terabyte, and the program I'm using to recover thinks that my drive is 7 terabytes because it's reading all of my partitions multiple times. Like, it reads the entire drive, then it reads, a partition, and then it reads the logical partition of the physical one, and it's just a giant mess. So what I ended up doing was I got a new hard drive. It's a funny story. When I went to Best Buy to get it, I determined I was going to spend $100 on this new hard drive, and they had one for $105 that was 2 terabytes, 7,200 RPM, and I decided to get that, but it was 3.5 inches instead of 2.5, which is what my laptop uses, and I didn't realize that until I got home. And when I bought it, the Best Buy guy was like, we have a special promotion where if you sign up for our rewards program or whatever, you can get $10 off. So that would actually bring me to $95, which is actually in my budget. But I ended up not being able to do it because they needed your social security number, and I forgot my social security number. I remembered it like that night, but anyway, so I ended up going back to Best Buy and exchanging that hard drive for one that's, get this, a terabyte, 5,200 RPM, or 5,400 RPM, so exactly the same. So I do have the laptop back. It's a completely empty hard drive. It's got Windows 7 back on it, which is barely configured at all, and Ubuntu's on it because I didn't want to deal with Debian again. I just wanted to get something running. See, that's pretty much fully configured. That's what I'm running now. So, and so my laptop's back. See, let me tack on some one in the chamber on Nuketown at the end of this because it's going to take a while. You know how I mentioned how Equestria Daily, or Banned from Equestria Daily, was getting popular lately? Well, a side effect of that is people have been asking me where Part 5 is, and the answer is that it was flagged a long time ago and got removed from YouTube, and I got a content strike on my channel because of it. But, see, what was I going to say? Let's see. But lately, because they got popular, the second... someone flagged part 2, and that's my second content strike. And what comes along with that is a 2-week ban from YouTube, which is why this is on my second channel. Let's see. It took me so long to make this video that I've only got about a week left. So I'm currently banned from YouTube, and I only have one strike left. And because of that, the Banned from Equestria Daily videos will all be taken down as soon as I get access to my channel back, because I don't want to risk losing my entire channel over something that's getting me lots of subscribers. Yeah, I will have content hopefully when I'll do another update video, and I think I'm going to do Alan Wake, for whenever I get my channel back. But don't expect anything like Knights of the Republic to come back soon, because that was a game that I had bought retail and then ended up losing, or I ended up CD cracking it no CD cracking it because I just don't. It's legit, but I just don't want to keep the CDs on me. So there at my parents' house, I can't even install the game, and I lost all my save files. I lost all my videos. I can get most of them back, but just don't expect anything regular like that to be here soon. So anyway, that's it. I'm EggheadDash, and I am out.